The conference room fell completely silent as billionaire Olivia Harper slammed her hand onto the table. "Who made this plan?" she demanded, her voice echoing through the room. No one dared to answer. Every executive lowered their eyes. Finally, the operations director took a deep breath and quietly replied, "The single dad you suspended last month." Olivia's face changed instantly. The room froze. She slowly sat down, unable to believe what she had just heard. The man she had publicly humiliated, the employee she believed was careless and unprofessional, had created the very plan that was about to save her billion-dollar company. Welcome to Heartline Stories. If you enjoy emotional stories filled with hope, justice, and unforgettable endings, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's begin today's story. Daniel Brooks had never dreamed of becoming rich. His biggest dream was much smaller but far more important: to give his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, a happy life. Ever since his wife passed away after a long illness, Daniel had raised Lily alone. Every morning before sunrise, he cooked breakfast, packed her school lunch, walked her to the bus stop, and then rushed across the city to reach Harper Global Industries before work began. Daniel worked as a project analyst. He wasn't loud or ambitious. While others spent time trying to impress managers, Daniel quietly solved problems no one else noticed. Many employees respected him, but very few actually knew him. They only saw a tired man carrying a worn-out backpack and leaving exactly at 5 every evening to pick up his daughter. Olivia Harper had built one of the largest technology companies in the country. She was famous for making impossible decisions look easy. Investors admired her confidence, but inside the company people feared her strict personality. She believed emotions made people weak and expected perfection from everyone. One rainy Monday morning, Daniel arrived 10 minutes late for an executive presentation. Lily had fallen at school, and he had rushed her to the clinic before coming to work. He tried explaining the situation, but Olivia wasn't interested. "In this company," she said coldly in front of everyone, "personal excuses never come before professional responsibility." The room remained silent as Daniel stood there embarrassed. Before he could say another word, Olivia suspended him without pay for 1 month. Daniel quietly picked up his bag and walked away. He didn't argue. He knew no explanation would change her mind. That evening, Lily noticed her father sitting quietly at the kitchen table staring at unpaid bills. "Dad," she whispered, "did I make you lose your job?" Daniel smiled gently even though his heart was breaking. "No, sweetheart. You are the reason I keep fighting." The next few weeks became the hardest time of their lives. Daniel sold his old guitar to buy groceries. He canceled the internet subscription. Some nights he skipped dinner so Lily would never realize there wasn't enough food. Still, every evening after Lily slept, Daniel opened his old laptop and continued working on an idea he had been developing for nearly a year. He believed Harper Global was wasting millions because of outdated systems. He designed a complete restructuring plan that could save the company hundreds of millions of dollars every year. He knew no one had asked him to do it. He knew he might never return to the company. But he believed good work always mattered, even if nobody noticed. Before his suspension officially ended, Daniel emailed the complete proposal to the company database, hoping someone might read it someday. Weeks passed. Meanwhile, Harper Global faced its biggest crisis in years. A major international client threatened to cancel a contract worth nearly $2 billion because the company's operations had become too slow and expensive. Emergency meetings filled every day. Consultants charged millions but offered no real solutions. Executives argued constantly while panic spread through every department. Then one junior analyst searching through archived project files discovered Daniel's forgotten proposal. The young employee couldn't believe what he was reading. Every problem the company faced had already been identified. Every solution was explained step by step. Every financial prediction matched the crisis almost perfectly. The proposal immediately reached senior management. Within hours, executives began implementing Daniel's recommendations. The results shocked everyone. Production delays dropped dramatically. Customer satisfaction improved. Costs decreased faster than expected. Most importantly, the international client agreed to stay. That was the moment Olivia entered the boardroom asking the question that changed everything. Who made this plan? The single dad you suspended, came the quiet reply. For the first time in years, Olivia had no words. She requested Daniel's employee file. Instead of finding complaints, she found years of outstanding performance reviews. She discovered emails where Daniel had repeatedly warned management about the exact problems now threatening the company. She learned he had never missed an important deadline except the morning his daughter needed emergency medical care. She also discovered something that broke her heart. Daniel had never complained after being suspended. Not once. The next morning, Olivia personally drove to Daniel's small apartment. She expected anger. She expected rejection. Instead, she found Daniel repairing Lily's bicycle outside their building. When Daniel looked up and saw the billionaire standing there, he was completely surprised. Olivia slowly walked toward him. "I came to apologize." Daniel remained silent. "I judged you without knowing your story," she continued. "I embarrassed you in front of everyone. And while I pushed you away, you were still trying to save my company." Daniel looked down for a moment. "I never wanted revenge," he replied softly. "I just wanted my work to help." Lily stepped outside holding a drawing. She smiled innocently at Olivia. "Are you Dad's boss?" Olivia nodded. Lily handed her the picture. It showed Daniel wearing a superhero cape. "My dad always fixes everything," Lily said proudly. Those simple words hit Olivia harder than any business failure ever had. A few days later, every employee gathered once again in the company's largest conference hall. Daniel stood nervously near the back. This time Olivia walked onto the stage carrying a microphone. "A month ago," she began, "I made the biggest mistake of my career." Thousands of employees watched silently. "I believed leadership meant never admitting failure. I was wrong." She invited Daniel onto the stage. Then, in front of everyone, Olivia apologized. She announced that Daniel's suspension had been removed from his record. He would receive full back pay with interest. More importantly, she promoted him to Director of Strategic Innovation, placing him in charge of implementing the very plan that saved the company. The audience stood and applauded for several minutes. Many employees had tears in their eyes. Daniel wasn't emotional because of the promotion. He was emotional because someone had finally seen his value. Over the next year, Harper Global became stronger than ever before. Daniel introduced flexible work schedules for parents. Emergency family leave became a company policy. Employee satisfaction reached record levels. Profits continued to grow because people worked harder when they felt respected. Olivia herself changed. She no longer judged employees by a single mistake. Instead, she began asking questions before making decisions. One evening, she visited Daniel's office. "I've learned something," she said. Daniel smiled. "What is it?" "The smartest investment isn't technology." "What is it then?" "People." Months later, Harper Global held its annual award ceremony. This year's highest honor wasn't given to the employee with the biggest sales numbers. It wasn't given to the executive with the largest profits. It was awarded to Daniel Brooks, the single father who never stopped caring, never stopped believing, and never stopped doing the right thing, even when the world treated him unfairly. As Daniel accepted the award, Lily ran onto the stage and hugged him tightly. The audience burst into applause once again. Daniel looked across the crowd and quietly said, "Success means nothing if kindness is missing. The greatest leaders are those who never forget the people standing beside them." His words received a standing ovation. And from that day forward, every new employee at Harper Global heard the story of the suspended single father whose quiet dedication saved a billion-dollar company. Because true greatness isn't measured by power, money, or titles. It's measured by character. Thank you for watching Heartline Stories. If this emotional story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment telling us your favorite moment, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to Heartline Stories for more powerful stories that remind us kindness, courage, and love can change lives forever.